So good day everyone. So now we will discuss about the global demography. As we go on to this topic, I am Ellen Grace D. Ruben from BSBA 2E HRDM. In this lesson, we will discuss or explain the theory of demographic transition model as in aspect to global population. And for today's video, we're talking about the global demographic model, and we learn how the country of all over the time, what's going on the population growth, and why this stuff really matter. So, small introduction. So, when we say demo, it means people. When you say graphy, means the measurement. So, demography, it is the scientific study of human population, primarily to their size and their structure and their development. According in the study, the size of territorial distribution and composition of population change therein a component of such change with may be identified as natality, mortality, territorial movements, and social mobility and change of status. We were talking about the demographic transition model. It's all about the demographic is looking how the country all over the time change, especially in focus on the birth rate, death rate, and population growth, and increase the rate. So we were looking how eventually the country grow. So now we stick what's going on in the process. So what are the causes occurs for this? So we were break down to the stages. So let's start from the stage 1. The demographic transition model, which is the stage 1 is the low growth. So what do you call that? This is the major of human history took place in this stage. Now one thing you understand is about there is no longer country in this stage, or maybe there is no small tribe in all society or countries. This stage 1 is show you the birth rate and the death rate is very high, and the death rate is very high. This is in the same level of this stage. So of course there is no great population growth and also no education and birth control. Why? Because there's no this is the old human civilization and lack of hygiene and large family. So we have stage 2, the transition model. This is that we call the high growth. So why high growth? Because the birth rate is very high and the death rate is very low or decline. So why? Because there's a lot of healthcare improved, less infant die, more transportation and medical care. So let's move on to stage 3. So this stage is decreasing of population growth. During this stage, the CBR starts to decline and the CBR is continue to decline. So our NRI or the population growth is now moderately instead of high. Why? Because of urbanization, like we're living in the farm and move to the other city and change our mind to having more babies or kids. So next we have stage 4 that we call the low no growth. So because of the CBR is low and the CDR is low and the population growth is also low. So the what you call this is the zero population growth. So first Why this is happening? Because of the urbanization, continue of mutants continue. Second, the women have more opportunity in the society. So the decline in both birth and death rate of most stage 4 country have been attributed to strong economies like highly educate citizen, healthcare system, the migration of the people and rural community to society, and expanded employment opportunity for women, and this is the factor play out for the total fertility rates or decrease until it's reached the replacement in level 2.1 birth per woman. So out of 2 is 1 children is produced. So which point the country is enter the stage still ongoing. So let's move on to the next topic, which is essay on the principle of population. Was first established on anonymously in 1798, but the author was soon is identified with Thomas Robert Malthus. This book is one for the future difficulties on interpretation of the population increase in geometric progression, so as the double every 25 years, while the food production is increased in arithmetic progression, which is would live in difference resulting in wants to food and remain an useless birth rate decrease. That the essay of the population principle, which is the Malthusian theory of the population, which relate for supply and population growth, for the idea the growth of population in potentially that evenly is reduced the living and standard and lead to the population drop. This is talk about the relationship between the food supply and the population growth. According to him, the food supply is increased, the population change. According to Malthus, the food supply rate is increased, like the population rate is like geometric rate, or it's multiply, and the food supply is arithmetic rate, or very slow or concentrated. If you will see the graph there in the upper, no, this will be eventually lead to a shortage of what? Food. So in the result, to the proposed that through preventive check and positive check, the population would be controlled to balance the food supply with the population level. So we have positive check or a native check. So Malthus was opposed that the forces will be correct the disparity between the food supply and the population growth in forms of nature disasters such as food and earthquake and man-made action, such as conflict and starvation. So last we have preventive check. This is the Malthus suggested, no, using preventive methods to regulate the growth of the population. This process is include from family planning, like using condoms, pills, and late marriage and celibacy.
day everyone, I am Joyce, the pestillos from BSBA 2E, and today I will be reporting about the criticism of Malthusian theory of population. Number 1. The population growth. Malthusian theory rests on a weak relationship between population and the food supply. Instead, it's all about the population and the wealth of a country. It is based from the optimum theory of population. If a rich country can produce enough food supplies for its people, they can they can import from the other countries to feed the people. Number 2, the food production. Malthus took no account of the scientific advancement. During the 19th and 20th century, there was a tremendous increase of productivity in agricultural industry. Scientific advancement may in course of time rendered the possibility to produce a food from the inorganic matter. Number 3, the global trade. Malthus had a narrow vision and was particularly influenced by the local condition in England. With rapid improvements of transportation, the factor that Malthus overlooked. No country needed for starvation and misery if they cannot produce enough food for its growing population, because they can offer trade to its neighboring countries. Lastly, the number 4, calculations. The mathematical formula regarding the food supply and the population growth are not correct. He used the formula as to example to show the dissimilar and the unrelated nature of the population growth and the food
Good
supply.
day everyone, I am Aldrine Salut from BSBA 2E and I'm the next reporter. The Philippine Statistical Authority or PSA 2010 reported that the level of urbanization is 2010 or the population of urban population to the total population was 45.3%. This means that of the 92.3 million population in the Philippines in 2010, 41.9 million live in areas classified as urban. The rural population or Jews who live in areas classified as rural numbered 50.5 million and accounted for 54.7% of the total population. Sabi po dito, ang Philippine Statistical Authority or PSA noong 2010 ay nagulat na ang kabuuan ng urbanisasyon ng populasyon sa Pilipinas ay may kabuuang 45.3% noong 2010. So, nangangahulugan ito na sa 92.3 milyong populasyon sa Pilipinas noong 2010, 41.9 milyon ang mga naninirahan sa lugar na nabibilang sa urban, and ang mga lugar naman na nabibilang sa tinatawag na rural ay may bilang na 50.5 million and umabot sa 94.7% ng kabuuang populasyon. So, noong 2010 po is mas marami ang populasyon sa lugar na nabibilang sa rural na lugar. So, pag sinabing rural, ito yung mga nakatira sa provinces. Apart from National Capital Region or NCR, which is completely urban in 2010 and 2007, there were 4 regions, namely Region 3, Region 4A, Region 11, and Region 12, which had a level of urbanization higher than the level of urbanization for the entire country, which was 45.3% in 2010 and 42.4% in 2007. So makikita po natin sa Table A, bukod sa National Capital Region or NCR na tinatawag na urban na lugar simula noong 2010 to 2007, meron pa pong 4 na region na nabibilang dito. Una na dito ang Region 3 or Central Luzon. Region 4A or Calabarzon, Region 11 or Davao Region, and Region 12 or Socsargen, na merong mas mataas na antas ng urbanisasyon kesa sa antas ng urbanisasyon sa buong bansa na may 45.3% noong 2010 and 42.4% noong 2007. Next is effect of global population. Prosperity increases as people have less children by pushing down birth rates. A higher level of trade relieves population pressures on the environment and reduces the size of the youth population environmental. Ito naman po yung epekto ng global population. So, sabi dito kung ang isang pamilya ay kakaunti lamang ang anak is mas masagana ang kanilang pamumuhay or hindi sila mahihirapan sa pagbili sa pang-araw-araw, unlike sa mga pamilya na marami ang anak. So, sa pamamagitan ng pagpapababa ng rate ng kapanganakan is mapapababa nito ang paglaki ng populasyon. Pressures and a large youth population increase the likelihood or conflict both internal and external. So tulad nga ng sabi ko, ang paglaki ng populasyon ng kabataan ay maaaring magdulot ng kakulangan. Also, the rapid growth of population in the poorest countries hinders economic development, condemns children in poor countries to continue poverty and treatment global political stability such as. So, ganun din po sa napakabilis na paglaki ng populasyon sa mga mahihirap na bansa na umahadlang sa pag-unlad ng ekonomiya. Last is, future work can study the effects of other forms of globalization like foreign direct investment and immigration on the birth rate. Maaaring pag-aralan kung ano ang mas mainam na solusyon upang mapigilan ang lalong tumataas na populasyon sa mundo. Tulad ng pag-rate ng kapanganakan or may saktong bilang kung ilan lang ang maaaring maging anak ng isang pamilya. So sa ngayon is may mga bansa na rin na gumagawa nito, like sa China, upang maiwasan ang paglaki ng populasyon sa kanilang bansa.